Plaintiff Sheila Leonard says after her husband died, she lost everything and went to stay with her daughter, the defendant. However, Sheila claims while there, the defendant had random men sleeping on the floor, and there were 9 people sharing one bathroom. So she left. She's suing her daughter for stolen and unreturned property. Defendant Tanya Dunaway says her mother has been addicted to prescription pills her entire life. Tanya claims while her mother was with her brother, who's a career criminal, she overdosed and nearly died. She's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
My husband had just died in my arms, and for 5 months, I didn't know whether I was coming or going, and I didn't know where to go to live because I lost my home, my furniture, everything I had.
When was that?
Huh?
When was that?
In March. And so I said I would go to my daughter's house to stay with her for a while until I got my head and everything together and decided what I wanted to do, where I wanted to live, if that would be the case. And I was taking quite a bit of medication under doctor's care because I'm a diabetic, and he had me under some other medications. So my daughter and I stayed at her house for a while, and things just didn't work out. And she had other people living in her house, and I didn't agree with the way they were living. So I said, I'm just leaving. I just can't take this.
What were they doing that you didn't agree with?
Well, she had other men in her house, sleeping on the floor, mattresses on the floor, her kids living this way and that way. There was never square meals prepared. The house was a mess all the time. I never had no privacy. So there was about 9 people to one bathroom. And I mean, it was just—
9 people lived there?
Mm-hmm. And plus my granddaughter. And I said, I just can't take this anymore. So I just gathered up my stuff and just took off down the road. And I did leave some of my stuff there because
we're going to get to that. That's what you're suing about. Ma'am, let me hear from you. Background.
Hi. I'm sorry to be here for one. I do love my mother. My dad died in March of an aneurysm. About a month later, my mother called me and said, Sean's messing up everything. He was supposed to help her sell whatever
Who was that?
Her witness. He's my brother. I hate to admit it. He's robbed me twice. He went to jail for it once. He's got that patch over his eye from strong arm robbing someone and hitting the head with a hammer. He's a career criminal. He's a drug addict. My mom called me and said that he was not helping her correctly, and I told her, get him out of there and we'll come down there and help you. So I got 2 other people, me and a truck and a trailer. It took 3 days to bring her stuff up to my house. We had 5 people living in my home. I took one of those people and I made them move to give my mother her own room, her own space. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, okay? My mom was there for about a month and a half. We took her out to get a puppy, and in the back seat, she's addicted to pills. She's been addicted to pills her whole life. She was a nurse. They made her go into rehab twice. She never learned to pain management her pills. It just got worse, especially after my dad died.
She started taking pills because of injury?
Yes.
Or pain of some sort?
Yep.
Okay.
She pulled a sciatic nerve in the hospital, had it repaired. A week later, she slipped on a grape and pulled it out, and they had to redo it. They finally made her into an early retirement because they saw that she was—
Okay, so your point was that she didn't know how to manage her pain—
That's right.
—well, and so she used the prescription drugs that she was given. Did she ever
she abuses
buy
the
streets? Did she ever buy drugs on the street?
No.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't
well,
know.
Then you don't know if she was abusing him because
No.
Well, I
if
know she was abusing—
Quiet, ma'am. You don't know because
Okay.
if she
All
took
right.
the drugs as they were given to her, then
Right.
she wasn't abusing them because she only had the limit that the doctor gave her.
Correct.
Now, if you know that she was buying them outside of the prescription that the doctor gave her, then perhaps you can make that allegation. And that's why I asked you, do you know of her buying any outside of the prescription?
No.
You say no. So how do you know she's abusing the amount that she gives? She gets a specific amount.
Because she was overdoing them when me and my daughter took her to the
So what does she do when they run out?
I don't know, sir.
Okay.
She was drooling in the back seat. She was doing it on the pills, and I told her she could not do that in front of my children. She went down to my brother's house
Do what in front of the children?
taking the pills. She was over taking the pills.
In front of them?
Yeah. Yes, she does it all the time. Look at her now. She's overdoing them now.
She looks fine to me.
Okay, well,
Can't come in here and talk about your mama and I'm not going to take up for her.
I wasn't talking about
You
my
did. You talked about that's the way she look. You see how she look right now? And I think she look good.
Okay. Okay.
Now, let's move back on to
Okay.
where we were.
About 5 days later, she decided that she was going to go to my brother's house, and I got a call from the hospital saying that my mother had OD'd on her medication.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 days after she came out of it, she didn't think she was going to survive it. She informed me that she was going to go back to my brother's, where she OD'd on her pills.
Mm-hmm. What happened there?
I let her go back, and I released responsibility for her. I can't be responsible for it. I can't stop it. I can't be responsible for it.
All right, good enough. And ma'am, you want to address any of that before we move to your property?
It was hot that day, and I did have a lot of pain because I was under a lot of doctor's care. And mentally, I was under stress because of my husband's death.
I know what it's like to be a widow. I became a widow 9 years ago when my husband was killed in an auto wreck on his way home from work. So I have compassion for my mother. I wanted to help my mother. I've tried many times to help my mother. My brother constantly gets in the way. He's cutting her phone off. She has no communication with her only 2 grandchildren.
Get to your property that you're suing for.
When I got ready to leave the hospital this last time I was in the hospital, I asked her to bring, my daughter, to bring my purse back to me. And in my purse, you know, women, they have to have everything in their purses, was my wallet.
Not all women.
Huh? Not all women? Oh. That's wise, I guess.
The older women from back in the day in my neighborhood, that's what they
Well, I had to carry everything.
They didn't have a purse. All of them, everybody didn't have a purse.
I had to carry everything
They
in
stuff
mine,
it.
though.
Go ahead, though.
Okay. My wedding rings, my brand new eyeglasses, my medication that I had to have,
Else you were going to withdrawal if you had them regularly.
and my insulin, some clothes that I needed. I had a TV that I had taken up there, but I wanted back, and my jewelry box, and a stereo, and some priceless antiques, and some pictures of my grandchildren. We asked her to bring them. She said she would in 2 weeks. And after 2.5 months, nothing. We called her, confronted her again.
We as in you and your son here?
Son, Sean. And she said, well, it'll be sometime.
Did you have any pills in there?
No.
So I
Yeah.
say, oh, Sean was after that.
Yes,
No,
Sean was calling.
Yes, he was.
No.
Hey, if you don't bring nothing back,
Yeah.
you bring them
That's
pills
exactly
back.
what it was.
That's
Yeah.
what Sean said.
Yeah. Yes, you've got that right. That's exactly what it was.
No, Sean never
That's
got
exactly
any-
what it was.
Sean never.
Sean looked like he might take a pill or two.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, man.
I need one now.
You all right? I give you a pass, but I don't know about this Sean.
Yeah, well.
All right, Sean might be, I don't know his business, but Sean might be crooked. Am I right or wrong? He got a little crook in him, tell the
John
truth.
has been very good to me.
I ain't talking about to you, I'm talking about to other people. Is he a crook?
What other people?
Has he ever been crooked?
He's been crooked before.
There you go. I know a crook when I
Yes.
know a crook when I see a crook.
Yes.
She lies. There was
I'm
never
just
a jewelry
kidding,
box.
Just messing with you. I'm not gonna mess with you anymore.
There was never
And
wedding rings in the
jewelry box.
purse.
All right, and she had, and what other property, ma'am? You have a list?
Yes, sir.
All right. What do you say to her property, ma'am?
Okay, first of all, the hospital would not release her to him because it was the place that she overdid her pills at without having a visitation.
Can we get to the property, please?
Okay. There was never any rings in her purse. There was nothing but pills, which got thrown in the garbage can. I am not going to give her back the pills that she OD'd on.
Why don't you just call a doctor? What did
Well,
the
I
doctor?
figure if
They
the
would
doctor wanted
restrict
her to have her medication when they released her, they would give her more medication because it's like giving a loaded gun back
The
to
doctor
someone.
would tell her
I feel
not
like
to
I'm
have
losing
any
my
more.
mother.
Let's talk about her property.
Okay.
Yes.
Her wallet she got back at the hospital in front of the
No, I
doctors
did
when I
not.
released reliability.
How about her purse?
Her purse, I have it here today, along
Why
with her
didn't you give it back
eyeglasses.
to her?
I wasn't going to return because he threatened me physically in the hospital.
To do what?
To punch me in the face. My brother did.
If what?
If I took her out of the hospital because she wanted
We're
to go with
talking
him.
about the purse. Purse.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
It was
What does
down-
that have to do with being punched? Why didn't you send your mother her purse?
I didn't have the money. I'm raising 2 children. I'm
Okay,
a widow.
because you just gave me a different excuse. Your defense is you
Yes.
couldn't afford
Yes.
to send your mother her purse.
Yes.
Good enough. And so you do owe. And now the other items that you're suing for, ma'am, the TV dresser, stereo, and jewelry box. You have those things? Ma'am, do
There
you
was
have?
never a jewelry box. Her
All right.
TV,
Do you
her
have the
dr-
TV and dresser?
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to hold you liable for those things. The counterclaim for $1,000 for emotional distress. What's that for?
The emotional distress they put me under.
What did she do to you?
She costs me money. It costs me 3 days with a truck and a trailer to bring her up to my house.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she
You want
did.
to sue your mother for helping her, all right.
She's suing me
How
for
much
not
you want
bringing her
from her?
stuff
How
back
much
down.
you want from her because you helped her? How
I
much you
didn't
want?
ask her
1,000. I'm
to.
sorry.
No.
You want 1,000 because it caused you emotional distress that you had to go and help your mother.
I'm distressed that I have to bring it back down there. He doesn't have a truck and a
I
trailer, the money
understand.
to do
so
that.
you're distressed with your mother and you want to sue her because
Yes.
you got to bring a truck down there. I got you. Your claim is dismissed
Okay.
for emotional distress.
Okay.
You've admitted to withholding her purse because you don't have the money to mail it to her.
Her purse is
You've
here, Your
admitted to
Honor.
having, yeah, I know, but do you want your money or your purse?
If there was money in my wallet,
was
but
no-
if there
She
Some
got
wasn't,
money in
wallet.
there, I'm going to give you your money. You're going to have some money now.
Thank you.
$5,000 is her judgment. You keep the property. You keep the purse.
So I
It's
get to
all
say goodbye to
yours.
my mother.
Yours is dismissed. She hasn't caused you any emotional distress.
Oh, yes,
have a
she
good
has.
day.
thank you.
My sister is nothing just like my father. That's why I'd never talked to him in
Okay,
23
okay,
years.
okay.
Mom, just relax. My mom here is nothing but 4'11" of heart. I don't think Judge Mathis, Dr. Phil, Oprah, or any of them can solve these problems. Believe that. And my mom has been through so much. And for her to pull this, it's just out of line. Whatever I
I lost my home. I lost my furniture. I lost everything I ever had. And I'm scratching from the bottom up, trying to find a life again.